Welcome in. I am the Crypto Bull God, and this is All in the Charts. If you appreciate the content, make sure to take a sip of coffee if you're in the Northeast. Hit the thumbs up button, drop me a comment. Click that bell icon for all notifications to know when I go live. Each and every single weekday on the YouTubes. Guys, price action is preparing itself for a large move up, as I had just discussed. It feels like 5 minutes ago. Actually, it was less than 12 hours ago when I was live streaming in the evening. Of course, I'm coming at you at 5:15 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you appreciate the fact that I drug my ass up to live stream so early in the morning, make sure that you give me a little extra love in the comments and in the thumbs up. Of course, I'm going to be doing these streams on Thursday very early to see, for the live TA Q&A segment, what portion of the audience that I can reach very early in the morning, recognizing that YouTube is global. I'm going to do this for a couple months, see how it goes. I definitely want to give it some time make a decision if it makes sense to continue it, but I'm hopeful that we can try different times out. Juan is in, man. Juan, are you on my schedule? Are you on my schedule of being up so early in the morning? Love it. Guys, I'm going to start off just kind of commenting on what's going on with Bitcoin. Just as a refresher, we're kind of chipping and chopping around. There's been different price levels. Of course, this is the 12-hour chart. Let's go to the 12-hour. There have been different price levels that we've talked about. There have been different price levels that other technical analysts have been looking for in terms of what to watch for. On this channel, I spoke to $68,000. We flipped that into support. That's an RS flip, what they call an RS flip, or resistance to support flip. I was stressing this yesterday that it is simply a matter of short time until I believe we're going to see a very big break above $74,000. And we're going to wake up to a green Jesus candle. Now, I've been in this market for a long time. This is something that could occur tomorrow. This is something that could occur over the weekend. This is something that might not occur until next week. And I'm being very specific with my word choices here and timing, because I do think this is something that's going to occur very, 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 very shortly. But yeah, we're just seeing some consolidation in here. Nothing crazy to support Caspa. For all my fellow Caspinians, we are literally consolidating right at prior all-time high range here. So this is very healthy and very good to see. The reason I say that is because when you have a large move up in Caspa like this, or any asset, and it starts to accumulate at the range highs, what that allows for, and I continually stress this on my channel, this allows your price indicators to cool off, okay? And if your price indicators are cooling off, what that allows for is more potential for prices to run to the upside once volume starts to kick back in, right? Versus us just going up straight up towards 25 cents and then having a very sharp correction. This is an extremely healthy consolidation that we're seeing in Caspa right now. So, on Caspa, I saw a troll in the you gotta love the trolls on X, on Twitter. So, I want to be careful with my word choices here, but I do see the potential for prices being much higher by next week in the 20-cent range. So we'll have to see. We'll have to see how the rest of the market goes. And I do plan on putting some time and energy into creating a Caspa video this weekend. Bear with me. I'm drinking my coffee. So I'll put some time into that. But guys, this is TA Q&A. Okay, this is TA Q&A. I want to get to your TA questions. Not much has changed since yesterday. Just waiting for the market to decide when it wants to go. Now, one other thing before I start getting into your TA questions, and we're going to lead off with AI tech, which is a question that was left over from yesterday. I think from Frankie had that question. I have a pretty good memory. I didn't even jot that down. Look at the market right now. Now, I need to revise this main watch list. It's pretty accurate for what I want to show, but I need to revise it. But anyway, I want you to look at how much red is here, okay? I'm going to tell you right now that in a market like this, okay, we're in a bull market and we're about to, if you guys, I don't know if you guys watch Raoul Pal at all, but I'm a huge fan of Raoul Pal's work. I'm a huge fan of the idea of liquidity cycles. It's one of the reasons I've shared with you that it may make sense that we won't see a blow off top until next year. But we're getting close to the banana zone, okay, as he spoke to. And when we are entering a period like that, quite often what happens is, it is almost 5:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time here. You can see the time on the bottom right. No, you can't actually. Well, it's almost 5:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's quite common in market conditions like this to wake up to slightly red conditions like this. And then by the afternoon or late morning, brother, we're flipping green. Okay, so it wouldn't surprise me by the time I leave the gym or by the time sometime this afternoon, all of this red flips green. Am I telling you we're going to have a green day today? No. I'm telling you, though, that in conditions like this, it wouldn't shock me. The Shockmaster wouldn't shock me that a lot of this red turns to green. So just something to watch out for, just another indication of the environment we're in. Juan, I'm definitely going to get to your question. Let's kick things off with looking at AI tech, and then we're going to get into PLI. Let's get into a blank chart. All right, let's see here. This was this ugly chart I looked at from Mazda Dashcam the other day. AI Tech. So I've never heard of this ticker before. I don't know what it is. Now, I don't know what... So my first comment to you, Frankie, is this is one hell of a beautiful chart. And we're starting, it looks like, to make we're trying to make a move to the upside here. Why is this beautiful chart? Look at the rounding bottom, okay? Nice rounding bottom, similar to what we're trying to do here. Then what happened? We got a low, which, by the way, this low was higher than this region back here. We got a high. We broke out. I mean, essentially, this is, if you look at this entire move, this is a nice rounding bottom. We have a high, a low, a high, a low. We're pulling a Super Mario. Okay, we're getting the higher. God, that is one ugly chart now that I have. I've made everybody nauseous at 5 o'clock in the morning. We've got higher highs and higher lows coming in. This is a really beautiful chart, Frankie. And thank you for sharing this chart on the live stream, because I love the opportunities, in particular when people share these strong charts. And I also like the opportunities when people share the weak charts, so I can point out why. But you can see, I can draw this a couple different ways, but you can see, this is on a 3-day. You can see that we're starting to break out above some resistance here. The other thing is, I am drawing a parallel on this chart between this price action and this price action. You see how we have a rounding bottom, and eventually we got up here. We came down and then came back up. Basically what happened was we broke out from descending resistance, sort of back-tested that region as support, and then made a move up. It looks like we're doing something similar right now, okay? Love this setup. Love the setup. MACD, oh my God. Look at these price indicators. MACD is about to curl up. Stochastic RSI looks beautiful, and the RSI is at a nice, healthy, neutral range at 53. This thing's looking nice, man. This is beautiful. So let's talk about where we want price to hold as support and then where we're going to run into resistance. Okay, there's an obvious, any basic chartist could tell you. there's a basic area of support right here. All right. We got that area, and we'll call it a region, especially in a volatile asset like this. I don't need to look at the market cap if I'm not familiar with it. Guarantee it's it's a lower market cap. This is your region for support. We want that 15 to 16 cent area to hold as an area of support. As we continue making our moves up, there are additional regions we want to hold as support. Of course, we want to flip this region ultimately into support. We're going to turn it into resistance for now because we don't have it as confirmed as an area of support. So we'll keep it as resistance for now. That's coming in at 19 cents that we're trying to break above. Mad Max. Super chats are never expected, but always appreciated. Thank you, my friend. Of course, I'll have time to look into this for you. So 19 cents. Next area here, we're looking at 23 cents. And because these things can fly, I'm going to continue going up. Now, the beautiful thing, by the way, Frankie, I'm speaking to you, my friend, since you asked the question. You know, the beautiful thing as we continue to move up here is there's not a lot of price confluence, okay, which is a great thing for us if we're holding this asset because it means that there is a likelihood this thing could fly. Now, obviously, once you start getting above 42 cents, you're playing with this wick up here, and there's not a lot. But these are your main areas of resistance. But this thing looks like it's in a trend reversal back to the upside, which is beautiful for us to see. Okay, let's get into the next question, which came in on PLI. Now, this is one that we've looked at before. PLI. I know this is one we've looked at before. Yeah, we looked at this one before. So I know that what I would have shared with you is, okay, I'm not interested until we get above this range here. So I really don't want to chart this one, Juan, until we got above here. I'm pretty confident I said something to that extent. And the other thing I would have said is that we broke out from this descending resistance, and a sign of strength is we can come all the way back down here, back test this as support, and continue moving up. So far, we've back tested this as support. So we've pretty much done what I said was quite possible. So we're just waiting for a confirmation move to the upside. Your specific question is, could you check what we talked about PLI volume? Well, I don't know what we talked about. But if you're looking for some sort of why isn't volume showing? Here we go. I can make some sort of comment on volume. Okay, so maybe what you're trying to relate this to is the comments on distribution versus accumulation. So I'm trying to go to a lower time frame here to discern what's going on. Now, as you can see, I want to get even more granular here. That's not really helpful. We'll just stay on how about the 2-day? Well, what I will comment on, if we look at the daily on PLI, you can see that with this move up here, okay, there was a surge in volume. Since then, volume has been relatively flat and been decreasing for the most part, okay? As we've been decreasing here in price and trying to find a range, okay? Now, what you want to look for on the volume, Juan, what you want to look for is as one of your indications, of course, on top of price indicators here, which the MACD looks like it's trying to flatten out, the stochastic R side. My first line of sight is looking at the price indicators. I'm looking at the MACD, the RSI, and the stochastic RSI for all the things we routinely speak about on this channel. But I'm looking for volume. I'm looking for price to sort of stabilize and for volume to give a clue, too, that volume might be picking up here. That's what I would be looking for on the volume profile. You're speaking to the weekly. I don't see anything on the weekly that looks really interesting here, quite honestly. So I'm not really sure what you're referring to. But that's what I would be looking for. Mad Max is asking a question. Did you ask a question on AED before? Might have to grab some more coffee here in a moment. AED. as I'm pulling that up, recently I purchased a mushroom complex powder to put in my coffee in the morning. It's supposed to help with numerous things, numerous health benefits. So, what the hell is this? Is this a crypto? Oh no, this is, wow. Guys, this is what happens when it's 5 o'clock in the morning. This is what happens when it's 5 o'clock in the morning. Mad Max, do you realize what I just did? I looked at the currency that you super chatted me in and thought it was a ticker. I mean, can you blame me? It's 5 o'clock in the morning here. The alarm went off at 4:45. I'm live streaming at 5:15. I mean, give me some slack here. All right, you're asking about MNT, and this one actually does sound familiar, like we have charted it before. Let me see if we can get. Oh man, there's not a lot of price data here. Okay, there's more here. Ooh. We're going to go with the most... Thank you, my friend. We're going to go where there's the most price data here. NMT. I want to make sure I have the right... coin market cap freezing up on me. Let me make sure I have the right ticker here, which I'm sure I do. Coin Gecko. Fucking coin market cap can suck my up. So too early in the morning. Man, I think you guys have heard me bitch about my computer. I don't know what the fuck my deal is with my computer. It's so, and I have software that I should be running well, but man, this has been so frustrating. Okay. Are we talking about Netmine token or NFT Mart? Which one, my friend? Netmine token or NFT Mart? Yeah, I do need a new PC. I really do. Mad Max, are we Netmind? Okay, that's helpful. Thank you, because I'm not looking at the right chart. Yeah. Guys, if the ticker isn't self-explanatory, make sure to spell out what the project is, because else I'm charting the wrong thing. So this doesn't have a lot of price data, it looks like. Netmind. Let's take a look at... Let's take a look at it on a DEX, maybe. God. Yeah, there's not a lot of price data on this. Look, I'll do the best I can, Max, but there's really not a lot of price data here, so is what it is, right? So we're going to stick this on we're going to get pretty granular here, because now when I'm charting something like this, right, a couple quick comments to you guys, and you can really take the opportunity to just listen to what I'm about to say and learn something before I start charting this one. If you're in a situation where you're attempting to discern what's going on with price action and you're really constricted based on limited price data, keep in mind that the views, opinions, and conclusions that you reach when you're evaluating a chart are weighted more heavily, and you can feel more convicted about what you're saying when you have more price data. We kind of hit on that yesterday, right? So I drew the comparison when we looked at the Dow Jones Industrial Average. There was over 100 years of price data, right? And one could make the argument that more recent price action is more relevant. And I would agree. However, it's still I mean, if you think about this, I don't know, it's just so intuitive to me being an analytical person. But if you have more data, I guess that's the best way to put it. If you have more data, you can feel more convicted about what you're saying, right? And I even draw that comparison to Bitcoin, that we need to be really careful about the conclusions we draw on Bitcoin because it has not been around for a while. It's still an immature asset. It's only been here for like 12 years in terms of charting. Now, in this case, we only have a month of price data. We don't even have a month. It looks like less than a month, okay? So what I'm doing to try to come up with some commentary regarding the chart, I'm going to a lower time frame. And the reason I'm going to a lower time frame, I'll show you. Look what happens when I go to a 3-day. Not a lot of candlesticks, right? But if I go to a 12-hour, there are 36 times the amount of candlesticks. Whoa, CBG, that was some quick math. There's just more candlesticks, right? And so that's going to lend itself to the ability to be able to draw more price confluence on this chart. Just keep in mind, though, there's not a lot of price data here, so we have to be careful with the conclusions we're drawing, okay? And there's going to be a lot of volatility here. I felt like talking about resistance first, so that's what we're going to do. We're going to talk about key areas of resistance, recognizing there's a high degree of volatility in this chart. These are your major areas of resistance. You can see 1040, 1250, and $16. Now, in terms of areas of support that I want to see hold on this chart, I'm seeing a couple wicks down in this range, so I'm going to venture to say if I look left, we'll see something in that vicinity. We do. We're going to draw it more like here, more like there. Oh my God, I just remembered a dream I had last night. You know that happens when you guys wake up first thing in the morning? You know, dreams are so weird. You just, all of a sudden they come to you. That is crazy. I just remembered a dream. Nothing crazy. Something with my family. That's weird. So there is an area of price confluence right around $8. If $8 doesn't hold max, we're going to come all the way down there to, we're going to come down to the 730 area. If 730 doesn't hold, we're going to come down here to 680. If 680 doesn't hold, we're going to come down to 620. If 620 doesn't hold, I mean, you can really start to get, there's a lot of price data here. Or excuse me, a lot of price confluence based on getting this granular. We're going to come down to 570. If 570 doesn't hold, I'm going to stop getting so granular. I'll just come down to right there at 517. I gave you a decent amount of price confluence here. So you're looking at $8, 730, 680, 620, 570. And 517. Price is trying to find its bearings here, right? I mean, when I look at this chart, what kind of catches me is we're sort of trying to find the bottom of our accumulation area and where we want to correct to and bottom. The MACD is trying to curl back up, same with the stochastic RSI and RSI. So these are your areas of price confluence, but a high degree of volatility here. So take it somewhat with not a grain of salt, but just a little bit of skepticism, I guess, because there is going to be a high degree of volatility given the limited price data and the fact that we're on a low time frame. Anytime you're on a low time frame, there's going to be a higher degree of volatility. So I hope the TA is well received, my friend. If you want something funny, you can check Pambi. It's a shady Spanish YouTuber meme coin. And looks like it's going to die, but who knows? Sure, why the fuck not? Okay, this should be hilarious. Oh, man. Yeah, this isn't even worth charting. Yeah, I'll tell you. Thank you. I very much am careful about who I interact with in the cryptoverse. Guys, let me grab a little bit more cafe. I'll be back with you in 1 second. All right, back with you. So we are pressing up against time. We're at 26 minutes. I see a couple new people joining in, and the question is, what do you want me to chart? What questions do you have? Let's take a look while I'm waiting for some questions to come in. Mazda dash cam, man. I got another brother from another mother with me who apparently is on very similar time as I am. Let's take a look at. I just saw Flare was up today. We haven't looked at it in a while I'm waiting to see if there's any more questions. Let's see what we got on Flare. I mean, I got to tell you, for being a shitty chart, this entire, during the airdrop coming down here, it did make a hell of a rebound. We came all the way up to 6 cents. Given where we've stabilized in price on Flare, let me get to a 3-day chart here. Given where we have stabilized in price, at the very least, a rising tide lifts all boats. I would anticipate we're at the very least going to retest all-time highs up here towards 6 cents. I think we'll break 6 cents eventually. But, I mean, certainly a hell of a rebound here. What I'd like to see from Flare is I'd like to get back up to this price area right. Let's see. Now that we have more price data, where would I like price to get to before I start to feel a little bit more convicted that we're seeing something very bullish? This area is sticking out to me. Right about here. I'm going to call it 3.8 cents. When you start to see Flare getting above 3.8 cents, of course, I own a decent amount of Flare that's getting dropped to me every month, like many of you perhaps. I have it wrapped up and staked because I partook in that airdrop snapshot from way back in December of 2020. I think it was December of 2020. It's a long time ago. Yeah, but once we reclaim 3.8 cents, this range up here in the 4.5 to 6 cent range. Again, the beautiful thing is we don't have a lot of price confluence up there. So the whole reason I say 3.8 cents, and that's sort of a big line in the sand to me, for starting to get really bullish, is you're cutting out everything below 3.8 cents. We have a ton of price confluence. You're getting above that, right? You're sort of saying that's in the past, And now, when we look left, we don't have a ton of price confluence, so there's a lot less resistance to run into to get to new all-time highs. Okay, great, a question. Of the top, that's the whole purpose for today's live stream, so I'm glad the questions are coming in. Guys, if you have a question, feel free to drop it. Don't be shy. Anything and everything about trading or reading charts. It doesn't even have to be about a specific project. You can ask me any general questions. Anything at all. Of the top 20, which do you think has the highest probability of dying this next bear market? Ooh, great question. I like it. Well, let me see if CoinMarketCap's going to cooperate with me. Actually, I'm using CoinGecko. So I'm using CoinGecko because CoinMarketCap was being a fucktard. So I don't know if the top 20 differs. So let's let's look at it together, actually. So the question is, in the next bear market, I don't want to think about that, right? Which will likely be in 2025 we'll see. Starting in 2025, probably. Going into 2026. Which of these projects is going to die? So the way I'm interpreting dying, just to let you know, Juan, I think this is a great question. The project literally won't die, but it's going to really significantly drop in terms of momentum and steam and performance, price performance, and it's going to drop well out of the top 20. So let's look at the current 20. Bitcoin, no. Ethereum, no. BNB, no. Solana, no. I'm not going to count some of these stable coins and staked ether and all that shit. XRP, no. Although I think it's going to drop out of the top 10. I'm not saying it can't regain it, but I do think you're going to see XRP out of the top 10 while there's a lot of momentum coming into the market. I've shared that with you, but I will say no, it's not going to die. Dogecoin, no. Toncoin, I don't know enough about. I don't know enough about, so I'll just say that's a possibility because I really don't have a lot of familiarity with the project. Cardano, no. I'm not a Cardano fan, but I know the community is strong with that one, so I don't know that one's going to die. Shiba Inu, no. Avalanche, again, a project I'm not super familiar with. I think there's a possibility there only because I don't know. I'm not super familiar with it. I don't hear a lot of people talking about it. Chainlink, no. Tron, there's always a lot of FUD around. I could see some potential there. Polkadot, I could see some potential there just because I don't know what the fuck they're doing. I never really hear anything about that. So I would say Avalanche, Tron, and Polkadot, I really don't hear a lot about them. Bitcoin Cash is certainly a possibility that one really could fall out of the top 20. Near Protocol seems like it gets a lot of momentum. A lot of talk in the space, so I don't see that one as much. Uniswap. Now, the interesting thing with Uniswap, had you polled me a year or two ago, I would have said Uniswap's going to continue to be an extremely strong performer. Here's the thing. There is a lot of heat coming in from a regulatory standpoint with decentralized exchanges, DEXs, which is what Uniswap is. So as much as, I think it's critically important that there are DEXs, decentralized exchanges, as an option to purchase cryptocurrency assets, and that we shouldn't have to go to centralized exchanges. But with the push to move to KYC, know your customer, I'm going to say no, though. I think Uniswap's still going to be relevant because even if the United States wants to be a fucktard, I still think Uniswap's going to be very integral in purchasing assets. So I'm going to say no. So to summarize for everyone tuning in, if I had to pick the assets in the top 20 that will sort of die off and fade away in the next bear market, I'm going to throw Toncoin in there only because I really don't know anything about it. I could be completely wrong. This thing could go to the top 5, but I really don't know anything about it. I'll say if I had to pick a couple, I'd say Polkadot, Tron, and Avalanche. Those three. Those are the three I would pick. Oh, and Bitcoin Cash. Apologies, Bitcoin Cash. Those 4. Okay, Bitcoin Cash. So I'll go with Avalanche, Tron, Polkadot, and Bitcoin Cash. Those are my 4 that I would say. Logical move. Welcome in, my friend. Watching from Norway. That is awesome. From your dental practice. Speaking of which, I'm going to stand. I've been sitting for way too long. We're going to take one more TA question. Let's see. Dental, you're reminding me I need to make my dental cleaning appointment. Salon is pretty strong, my friend. I don't know about that. Welcome in. Let's see what else. Pedro. I don't know if I'm a legend, but I appreciate the compliments. Chain Link. Got a question on Choke on Bones, my friend. I haven't seen you in a while. Choke on Bones has a question. I see you all the time on X, though. Has a question on Link. I have not charted this one in a while, so I'm going to apologize right now if this chart is extremely messy. I haven't looked at this in a while. This is going to be the last TA question for the day, and then we're going to call it a morning. So, as you can see, we didn't hold that area as support. I already have this all drawn out. I got key areas of price confluence right here. So you can see we're trying to push back above 18 and 19 here. I'm looking at the weekly. You can see where our areas of support are. Of course, I can get this. I can flip that to support here. One of the things I was pointing out here for weeks and weeks and weeks, you can see price was going sort of down, sideways. RSI was going up. We had some bullish divergence that played out. What are we getting now? Price is just trying to find itself. Actually, if I had to point something out to you, I don't have the stochastic RSI here. Look at the MACD. The MACD is trying to cross back up, right? We're trying to cross back up, but we're just sort of chipping and chopping away. We're in a range here, okay? Great to see that we found a bounce in a price area here around 12 to 13. Really where you want to start to get re-interested back in Chainlink is when we reclaim the $19 to $20 price area as support. You can see we're pressing up against it. It's no surprise that once we fell below this range here, it's now acting as resistance, right? We can't get back above it. $19 to $20 is the name of the game that we want to get above. Until then, I'm not really interested in Chainlink until we start to push convincingly above 19 to 20. Guys, I really appreciate the support and the turnout today. Like I said, Thursdays we will be live streaming very early in the morning if you can catch it. Monday through Wednesday will be the same. Fridays is a bonus day if there's anything significant going on and I have the opportunity to live stream. Same with weekly closes over the weekend on Sunday. So, guys, I may not catch it on Monday. We'll have to see what happens in the market. Again, I'd like you to keep an eye on this market because in the current environment we're in, before you tune out, very, very important note. We started off the morning here, Eastern Standard Time, red, okay? In an environment like we are in today, there is a strong possibility all of this could flip green at some point late morning or afternoon time frame. Keep an eye out for that because that's the type of environment we're in. Until next time, everybody, let's all spread awareness and let's carry the education forward. Take care.